Hi everyone, this is Brooke Skidmore with Awake and Arise, and today is Monday, January 20th. And if you joined us last week, hopefully you were able to enjoy a week of kind of taking greater notice of the choices that we're making and maybe being more aware of not just what I'm wanting to do in that moment, but also am I wanting the consequences of the choices I'm making, especially those choices that I'm making on a regular basis. Today I am reaching you from my office on the campus of Regis University in the athletics department, and I wanted to share a brief message today that I find to be especially helpful with a lot of my athletes and coaches. Every year I try to have some sort of theme for my, kind of like a theme for the year, and so this year I chose this theme, which I have hanging in my office, which is the idea of being present, not perfect. And I got this idea actually from a yoga class that I took a couple months ago. And in that class, it was towards the end of class, we were doing a pose that none of us had ever done before. She was challenging us with something new and difficult and hard and different. And we were all struggling. And I think that she could sense that. We were all struggling to get it right and to figure it out. And so she said something to us that has stuck with me ever since. In that moment, all she said was, "I want you to think about being present, not perfect." And it was amazing to me how much that simple idea changed everything for me for the remainder of that class. Instead of trying to get it exactly right and make it look right and be perfect in it, and all of a sudden I enjoyed the challenge instead of, struggling against the challenge. And I was able to progress in my own whatever practice and strength, as opposed to feeling inadequate and wanting to give up. And so I really like that idea. I've shared it with a lot of my athletes, and I think it can be applicable in sport. It can be helpful in business. It can be helpful for those of you who are performers, maybe musicians, singers, dancers, those who play musical instruments. And the idea is that a lot of us, especially if you're kind of a perfectionist, we kind of tend to ruminate on mistakes, right? So if I just made a mistake, I just missed a shot, let's say, some of us really, it's hard to let that go. And if I can't stop thinking about that previous missed shot, it's going to be a lot harder for me to get back on defense. It's going to be a lot harder for me to make my next shot. Same goes for, let's say, if you're in a job interview. You're kind of performing when you're at a job interview. If you're focusing so much on, oh, why did I say that? Or if you're focusing on the future, what if I don't get this job? Does this person like me? Do they not? Am I a good fit? I'm much less likely to be able to respond in a coherent manner in that job interview, and to be able to formulate the right ideas. So this idea can be especially helpful in any kind of situation where you feel like you want to perform well and want to just do your very best. A lot of times I talk to my athletes about, have you ever played a game where you didn't perform perfectly every single play, but you still won? And I think that's true of all of us. You can still win a game and not be perfect in that game. You can still get the job without performing every single word and action perfectly in that job interview. You can still make a sale without saying everything on point, you can still have a great outcome without being perfect. And so I like to think about not playing behind. I'm not playing ahead. I'm just focusing on the here and now. And so you might consider trying that out this week. Whatever you're doing, whether it's something simple like interacting with your kids, or whether it's something bigger like a performance or a competition, the more we can stay present, the more likely we are to play and perform at our best. So good luck with that this week.